Welcome back to the W Number. Today I'm going to tell you a little story about how I smashed an Aryan Brotherhood member out in the Suzabaranowski Correctional Center. I was in the Suzabaranowski Correctional Center from 2008 until 2023. I got out at the beginning of 2023. The whole time I was there, I spent it active in a gang lifestyle. I spent it active in a violent lifestyle. That is not the way to live. I'm going to tell you these stories because this is my book. This is my life. This is how I lived it. And the only way I can benefit from the violence in that life is by speaking about it. And by doing that, getting it off my chest, letting everybody know what's really happening behind the wall. And that's what we're doing here today. So without further ado, I'm going to get into a story about how I crushed an Aryan Brotherhood member and started a little mini war until they were X'd out of our little system.
You know why you ain't got what I got? Why you ain't flashing no knot? Cause you ain't paper chasing out you like that boost and pop. They gon' be a lot of niggas dead for the foolishness stop. I'ma introduce you pussy niggas to these Rugers and Glocks. I turned the block into a block, now these niggas won't pay. I'm charging niggas 9 pieces just to cook up they weight. You got that iron, I got that iron. Ain't stop making no guns. We got them 1-ton guns and them 100-round drums. And I ain't did a nigga nothing. No, I don't owe a nigga shit. Everything I sold, I paid for from experience to.
What can I say about it?
You heard her. Like and subscribe to the W Number. I'm gonna come find you.
Alright, man, back in the W Number, baby. You know how we do it up in here, man. This is the lifestyle, bro. Prison, man, getting out, changing your life, doing things differently, just so you could be an example for the youth, for the people around you, an inspiration, a shining light, a shooting star. Never let the people around you down, because if you're doing the best you can't possibly, because if they love you, they're gonna be there for you no matter what. So today I'm gonna say a little prayer with you guys, because I feel like I've been getting a little bit lost on my path, and I really need God's help. And I feel like maybe you guys might need a little bit of God's help today. A little prayer can never hurt, man. Saying a prayer can never hurt you. God, please grant me wisdom, understanding. Speak through me, God. Invade my brain, cleanse my soul, cleanse my spirit. Help me be a shining light for everybody around me. Help me guide the people in my life to a better life. You know, bring me as much money as I possibly can so that I could buy my mom a new house. Please, God. And I really want to show people that what I'm made of, that dedication and perseverance is not built in. It's something that you need to maintain, that you need to constantly work on. I am a work in progress every single day, God, and only through you can I maximize my potential and optimize my life. So please, Lord, help me with this story today. Help me show the people what it's like inside a prison, and bless everybody that's listening to this, God. Shower blessings on every single one of my fans, man. Show them that through you anything is possible, God. Amen. So without further ado, so I know I said that like 5 times. I'm sorry. I'm going to take you into the max. I was in L1, or it's a disciplinary detention unit where you go if you catch a ticket, or if you're just getting out of the hole, or you get an introduction ticket or something like that, because they don't put you in the hole for everything. You know what I mean? They only put you in the hole for, serious offenses. So I'm down there, right? This dude, I'm going to call him AB, because really that's his initials, and he was an AB. He was a transfer from Maine. He caught a case he was in the Army, right? And he caught a case for chasing somebody through the woods and killing them allegedly over money or something like that. So when you kill anybody and you're in the Army, you go to a federal, you know what I mean? You go to the brig. So this dude comes from the feds. He's got all these stories about how he was killing dudes out there. I remember him telling me a story one time about how he was smoking a blunt in this Florida prison, right? Now, Florida, thinking back on it, has all these different PC camps And I didn't really know much about the feds at the time. And to tell you the truth, I am a gullible person, because you want to know why. I never really lie about stuff. So I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, why would you lie about anything? Why I don't lie. So, if someone's going to tell me a story about something, I'm thinking, I'm going to take their word for it until they give me a reason to doubt them, which this dude gave me a major reason to doubt him. And I'll tell you what happened. So this dude tells me all these stories about how he's like smoking blunts in the feds, and this dude was taking a hit of the blunt and he stabbed him and killed him and then took off and went to his block and they never got caught, or all this. It was really wild stories, man. And I tend to believe him because I'm like, the dude seemed, some people have a way about them where they could just tell stories and they have so much conviction that it seems convincing. You know what I mean? So this dude was like that. He had that kind of like, he was convincing. So I believe him, man. He tells me one day, he's like, man, I got a letter from my boy in the ADX and all this other stuff. He's sitting on his bed and he's reading these letters and stuff. And he's got these letters out and he's got his pad in his hand. And he's writing a letter. And we were runners. So we're all up on the top tier, at the end of the top tier. And the dude that this was all over was actually on the unit with us at the time. This is all going to, I'm going to spin it out so you can make sense of it. So he's writing in a letter in his cell, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, bro? He's like, yeah. Now I started to have little doubts, the little stories that he's telling me, they're just not adding up. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it a little too much, and I don't like it when I have to do that, because most of the time my gut is right. So I tell him, I'm like, let me read it. He tells me he got a letter from the ADX. I said, let me read it. And he's like, oh, well, it doesn't really say much, it's just, a letter, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm interested in that type of stuff. Let me read it. And he's like, oh, okay. And he gives me a letter, right? So I start reading it, and it's like, oh, tell all the boys. Now, all these different Maine transfers that he says hello. So I'm like, this dude's in the ADX. I'm like, how does he know all these guys from Maine? And he's like, oh, he was in Maine with us before he went over. Now, the dude's writing about sports. He sounds like an old man. And now that doesn't mean nothing, right? But the dude sounds like a straight square in this letter. He is not some ADX type of killer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could tell just the way he was writing a letter. It was not from the ADX. So I'm like, oh, what's the address for the thing? And I could think he could see that I was being a little bit dubious about the situation. So he's like, oh, I don't know where it is. I think I lost it or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, right. And so I'm like, okay, I give him the letter back. Now in my head, I got serious doubts. I'm like, I just, as a person, I didn't trust him as a person anymore. So that's all that was. But I didn't know what was going to come out in the future. Tell him, I'm like, all right, bro, and I just give him the, hi and bye for a little bit. And I think you can tell like I'm a little bit put off by him, So a little bit of time goes by. My boy GP, the guy who this story is going to center around, he's on the unit with us. He gets moved up to a regular unit, right? Now, I tell the dude AB to hold these pills for me one day, because I'm going up to church, and my block officer, he likes to bag me on the way back from church and strip search me, because I'm pretty sure he swings that way. Because why else would he always want to strip search me on the way back from church, right? So he says he was watching me on camera one time, and he saw me pass something off and all this other stuff. But really, the dude takes mad trips every year to Thailand, and we all know the type of people who go to Thailand every year. You know what I mean? And it's funny because COs watch my channel and they're going to know who I'm talking about, and they're all going to laugh. Like, oh, because the dude's a douche. He's a straight douche. And this is my channel. I don't slander anybody. There's good people on every side of the fence. And there's those COs that like to go to work and go home, man. And they don't mess with anybody. As a matter of fact, sometimes they'll help you out. But, there's these guys, the ones that like to go above and beyond, strip search you and just treat you like you're a fucking dickhead all the time, strip search, whatever. I give them the pills, and on my way back from church, I see a response running in, and they are running deep like a staff assault is happening. So I'm like, oh man, here goes this, right? Then I see him getting escorted out of the unit all ruffled up and shit. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? All my stuff gone, right? I had strips, I had baclophens, I had Rhines, I had all that, man. It's just gone. I'm like, dang, man, what the heck? So I get back to you and I'm asking dude, like, what happened, bro? And so I guess he did the right thing. Like, they called him in the room and told him to strip search. And I don't know like why or what. I think it was like he was coming down the stairs or something, and the dude Canestrano seen him do something like suspicious or something, or he was coming off the rec deck. Sorry, yeah, he was coming off the rec deck, and he was on the rec deck fishing from upstairs. And so Canestrano seen him fishing and was like, hey, come in here, I want to strip search you, because he wanted to see what he got off the rec deck. And when he did, now he didn't even get anything off the rec deck. He was sending something upstairs for somebody downstairs. And dude, he had my pills on him though. So when he said, like, let me get him, I'm pretty sure if they were just his, he would have gave them up. But because they were mine and he was scared of me, he was like, oh, he threw them in his mouth and swallowed them. So he didn't get caught with them or anything. And I don't think he didn't give me up because I didn't get in trouble or anything. So, it kind of made me not, I didn't dislike him to the point where I'm like, I can't fuck with the dude at all. You know what I mean? So I just for doing the right thing for me on that level, I was like, I'll mess with the kid a little bit. Right. But I just know not to take his word for it. And I'm dubious of his past. And where we live in a state where paperwork is really not a thing. You know what I mean? So like, we don't check paperwork all the time. Only if there's a good reason we'll make you get the paperwork. And now there has to be a decent reason, because it could be severely disrespectful in a way. Like, you tell someone, give me your paperwork, it's fighting words, bro, right? Because if you're not dirty, if someone asks me for my paperwork, in other words, I'm smashing them all, because like, dude, what do you think I am, bro? What are you trying to say? You know what I mean? But I'm going to smash them out after I show them my paperwork, just so that there's no questions. You know what I mean? Because there's never going to be a question about me, dude. Right? I am not that dude. I go in, he comes back out of the hole, right? Comes downstairs. All of a sudden, dude, like a couple days later, I got people calling me out to the yard. And I'm like, okay, well, usually sometimes my friends are calling me out. My brother's up on this P2, so he sometimes wants to talk to me, whatever. So I go out to the yard, and I'm all these people are on the rec deck. All my people are on the rec deck, and they're like, yo, Maddie, bro, this dude's sending letters down talking about he's gonna kill me. You must cut the head off the snake and all this other stuff, talking about killing my other friend and taking over the camp with ABs, right? So let me tell you the nonsensical things that these dudes tried to pull up there. So there's this guy, DS, who comes from the feds. He's an AB member. He's a legitimate certified AB member. He comes from the feds, and he comes to our joint, and he starts talking about how he's going to take over the camp. We got to weed out the snakes and all this other stuff, talking about my people. He sends a letter down to this dude who sits at the table with GS, right? They sit at the same table, right? They are friends. They've been friends for more than 20 years inside of the prison, right? This blows my mind how like legitimately unlucky they were with this one, how they pulled this name out of the friggin' hat. And I'm saying the hat, like different hat, but so they tell this dude to kill my friend GS, right? Then they tell him congratulations, you've been inducted into the Aryan Brotherhood. Your first mission is to kill GS, right? And JS was another one. JS, for those of us who know, right? If you know, you know. So just think about it in terms of two influential people in Susan Baranowski Correctional Center who are running with me, my friends, And these are just crews that we have, local crews. Like we keep the joint safe for our people and clean. This dude's like, yo, he immediately tells GP, like, dude, they sent me a letter. Now, they didn't know the letter got through because nothing happened. And they're thinking that, as soon as he sends a letter, it's going to happen because they just called this shot, right? Like, they had, like, delusions of grandeur, if you could say anything about it, right? So the second letter that they sent down, right, it gets picked up by the IPS and intercepted, along with a few other letters which is the reason why this one got intercepted, is because they start looking at this dude a little bit more closely. And I believe they had an informant working on the tier who grabbed the letter to bring downstairs, and that they turned it over to the Ips. That's what they do when they notice something's going on. They put an informant around you. They did it to me my whole sentence, that I knew at all times that there was at least one informant in my circle trying to rat on me for anything I did. So you have to keep your circle small, real tight. You know what I mean? And, sometimes you got to send out fishing expeditions, tell certain people certain things and see what happens. And you'll know when that little piece of information comes to light, that person you told is most likely the rat, unless they told somebody else and they told. But that's the reason why you should keep your mouth shut when your friend tells you something, but they say, if you can't keep a secret, how can you expect them to? So anyways, right? This letter gets intercepted by the Ips. The Ips are obligated now to call GP to the office and tell them, look, someone's trying to kill you. You're in the hat. And he goes, the hat? What the heck's a hat? Because in our state, we don't have the hat. There is no such thing. It's just green lighted. You know what I mean? So he's like, what's the hat? He's been in prison for 30 years. He probably heard this term before, but he was just being sarcastic to these people because, he's not going to give them any information. You know what I mean? Let him even know that he knows anything, right? So he already knows that we wrote the letter, but he's like, what do you mean? What's this? And so they tell him, and they're like, oh, well, do you feel safe going back? He's like, of course I feel safe going back. We run this place, man. Like, he didn't say that to him, but that's what he's thinking in his head. That's his mind state. Like, dude, yeah, I feel safe, bro. What are you talking about? Now, as a convict, you'll never tell the Ips like, oh, I don't feel safe about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't tell them anything. You don't give away anything, even in your body language, nothing. Like, nothing or nothing, right? I don't go in there. And when I go in there to talk to them, like, they make you come in sometimes, like, sit down, like, or else you're going to go, you just go in there and you sit there and say, am I good? And they'll try to ask you about your family. How's your brother doing? How's your mom? Just to they have to pass a certain time and you go out, but you spend the minimal amount of time. If you're in there for any longer than a minute, dude, you're most likely not very good. Right. And, you got to have a lot of trust within our community to be able to talk to them without any type of suspicion. So, and I had a lot of trust, and I can say that's well earned. I've never told in my life. Right. Not even on a little thing, not ever. Right. So even since I was a kid. So he comes out. They send him back to the unit, and that's when they call me out to the yard. So I'm out in the yard, and they're like, yo, this dude's been writing letters, bro, talking about, oh, take me out. And he didn't say do anything. So he's like, he didn't tell me to do anything or not. He's just telling me this because we make our own decisions based on what we want to do, So he tells me this, and now I'm in my head, bro. I'm like, oh, man, this motherfucker, bro, betrayed me, dude. Right? He's going to sit around me, smile on my face, and write these sneaky little letters talking about killing my friends. Right? So I'm like, oh, hell no, dude. Right? So I go back to the unit, dude. And now I'm with this other kid, RK, we'll call him. Right? He's one of my friends, and he's not with my people or nothing like that, but he's an acquaintance of mine. So he's waiting on a pack. I split it with him. We both went half and half on this package. So we're waiting on it. And I tell him, look, fuck that pack. We're doing this. He's like, nah, Maddie, come on, bro. He's like, just wait for me, bro. Wait. Cause I'm supposed to be the one to get the pack. Like, they're sending it through people to me, and he has to rely on me to get it. So he's asking me as a favor to stick around so that he doesn't lose it. Now it's $700. So I'm like, you know what? I'll stick around for a couple of days, bro. This shit better show up, bro. You know what I mean? And so I stick around for a couple of days. Thing doesn't come in. So I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this, bro. I'm not waiting for it anymore, bro. So I had enough. And he's like, oh, Maddie, come on, bro. So I tell him, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'll wait. And I start walking out to the rec deck, and he starts following me like, oh, man, you're not going to do this, bro, are you, bro? And I'm like, do what, bro? Because like now I didn't say I was going to do anything. No one told me to do anything. And I'm just mad about something. So I go off on my own tangent because I'm mad, dude. I'm mad. Like, this dude betrayed me, bro. I go out there and I see this dude. And immediately when I see him, I'm like, oh, I can't hold back, dude, right? I can't look at this dude anymore, bro. How are you going to do that? Right. So I had the basketball. He was out there working out. right? And he kicks the basketball. The thing bounces off the pull-up bar and hits me in the hand, right? And I'm like, oh, this dude, bro, right? It hits me in the hand, so I pick the basketball up, and he goes, flexes on me, dude, right? So I whip the basketball in his face. It hits him in the face so hard, you could hear the ball go, wing, right? You know that, like, wing sound? And I just crushed him. Boom, 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 boom. Lit him up, had him on the floor, just piecing him up, busting his head up. My boy runs over, dude, starts piecing him up, too. Now, I go back inside. This dude's out in the rec deck, bloody mess. Nothing happens. I don't get caught. It's on the rec deck. They don't even see it happen. So dudes go out into the rec deck to bring the dude towels and stuff like that to like put it over his head and wipe himself off. The cops, even if they did see it, most likely wouldn't call it in unless they had a reason to. So they might have seen it, but they just didn't call it in. I go back in, I go into my room. I go into my cell, I clean up a little bit, and this dude can't come off the rec deck because he's all busted up and he doesn't know how to get off, and that dude can't run. He's coming in on the next shift, so I'm like, dude, you got to get him off the rec deck, bro. So he gets off the rec deck, he comes inside, and that night I'm like, yo, look, you got to go, bro, because I took all the stuff out of his cell. I took he had these nice ass headphones, he had this nice like stuff that he came from Maine with, and you could get on like Prison Corp America, which we can't get down here. So like these real nice headphones and stuff. But I ended up giving it back to him because I'm soft, right? And I just felt bad for the loser, right? I don't know why I felt bad for him, but I don't know. I feel like I was being a bully almost because the dude curled up on a ball on the floor. Now I should have just took it from him because that's just like what dogs do. And on every other circumstance and situation, I probably would have, but whatever. I gave it back to him, and this is just me being honest. Right? And just how I am. I'm just 100% all the time. So this dude goes in, I tell him, look it, man, tonight you got to fall down the stairs, bro, because you can't stay over here, dude. I'm not living on the unit with you. So he's like, all right, man, all right, you know, and I'm at the top of the stairs now, right at the top of the stairs. And now they don't know this happened on the other units yet because they didn't call it in. And my brother, he gets mad at me because he thinks I like, you know, I'm going to live on the unit with this dude, even though no one's like, you know, you have to do this. No one's saying do this. No one even brought it up to me that I should do it. You know, people, if anything, they were like, Maddie, I don't want you getting in trouble. Don't do it, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that's just what we do for each other. We're just friends, you know? So this dude, right, my brother writes me a letter like, yo, you shouldn't be living down there with that dude, bro, blah, 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 blah. And I don't answer him because it's like, dude, come on, bro. What do you think I am, dude, right? He's my own twin brother, right? I tell him he's got to fall down the stairs, right? So he gets to the top of the stairs at rec that night, and he's literally teetering forward about to fall face first down the stairs. So I tell him, wait, right? Because I don't even know if I want to see that. This dude was literally about to throw his ass down the stairs face first. And so he catches the railings on the bar, right? And like stands back up and he comes over to my door like a little puppy dog. Like, and I'm like, dude, don't do that, bro, right? Don't do that, dude. Like, that's just crazy. Yeah, I don't want you to fucking die. Then, you know, if that happened, then, you know, whatever. You know, I don't know, man, what would happen then. So I tell him don't do it. And, I get into another fight in a cell, and after that, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to be down here no more because they missed gym 5 days in a row because the cop on our CO on our block was just such a dumbass. He kept on missing our gym call. We were all waiting in front of the desk like, dude, don't miss this gym call or I'm going to be pissed. And he missed it again, dude, right? Well, we were all there. So I'm like, you know what, dude, fuck this, bro. I'm going to a unit where I could actually go to the gym, right? So I tell them I don't want to be a runner no more. So they move me up to N2, and I go up to N2. They move me in the cell with another AB, right? So all night that night, I freaking tortured this dude, right? I took his TV and I made him go out and meet my friend on the basically it's like what other prisons would call the veranda. So like we go out to chow on a central hallway, Main Street, and there was happy hour the next day. So all the different units go out and talk to, like, you know, the superintendent, the treasurer, and the director of security, whoever, if you had an issue to clear up, like a grievance in over property, whatever it is, dude, properties out there, you go out there and talk to them, and all these different people can go out there and you see them from all the different units. And so he was supposed to go out and meet my friend George the next day out there. And until he did that, I told him, look, you can't have none of your stuff, bro. You got to go meet my friend out there tomorrow. Right. So he goes out there and meets my boy GP, and GP hooks off. They get into a fight. They went out there on a mutual engagement agreement. So it wasn't like he didn't know what was going to happen. They went out there to fight each other. So they go out there to fight each other. Boom. George wipes him all the way down. Bang. Right. Now I'm like, this is getting crazy. Right. So there's 2 down. And that's pretty much what happened right there. For this story. I don't want to take any more of your time because I'm going to make my videos a little bit shorter. So we could do a part 2, if anything, to explain the rest. And I'm going to be live tomorrow night. So make sure you show up to my live. That's it, baby. W number. Ow.
They hate it when that steady came. Now I'm on that money train. It's golden giant coming chain. A nigga with the choppers, man. For real, nigga, who it is? It's golden giant coming chain. A nigga with the choppers, man. Jealousy, yeah. I told you, man, it's jealousy, yeah. It's like a jealousy, yeah. Got these niggas scared, wanna bust a nigga head for no reason, man. It's jealousy, yeah. I told you, man, it's jealousy, yeah.